Controversial podcaster Joe Rogan provoked upset this month when he invited two medical experts to debate COVID-19 on his popular Spotify show only for them to share information that contradicts mainstream advice. Piers Morgan has seized an opportunity to blast Meghan Markle once again as he fails to move on from their one-sided falling out. The 56-year-old broadcaster has a long history of being angry with the 40-year-old Duchess of Sussex, who he claims he was flattered to meet years ago only for her to ghost him after they spent a night out together. Piers has since gone on to accuse Meghan of being a serial liar who climbed the social ladder in the UK until she met 37-year-old Prince Harry, who she married in 2016 and has since welcomed two children together. In his new column for The Sun and Rupert Murdoch's broadcasting empire at large, Piers has taken issue with the fact that Meghan has called for a podcast by American podcaster Joe Rogan, 54, to be removed from Spotify after he interviewed two controversial scientists about the COVID-19 virus. Joe, who has a reported $100 million £74 million deal with Spotify, has provoked a backlash due to his COVID questioning podcast. However, he himself has declared he is not an anti-vaxxer and has encouraged many people to get the jab. However, an open letter has been signed by 270 doctors and scientists to request Spotify strip him of his podcasting role on the streaming service. While singers Neil Young and Joni Mitchell have removed their music from the subscription service in protest, while British singer James Blunt has threatened to release new music if the Swedish company doesn't remove Joe's podcasts. Piers, who has a column called Uncensored for Rupert Murdoch's empire covering The Sun and the New York Post, has also highlighted that Meghan and Harry have added their voices to the backlash against Joe. The royal couple were themselves paid $25 million, £18.6 million, to create podcasts for Spotify, although they have as yet released just one episode which was met with mixed reviews from critics. Piers writes, in a new low, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have demanded the Swedish streaming platform, which paid them $25 million last year to do their own podcast, do something about Rogan's rampant misinformation. Sorry, what? A pair of two-bit minor British royal family renegades best known for spewing outrageously harmful misinformation to Oprah Winfrey are trying to suppress an American's First Amendment right to free speech? Piers first takes the time to brand Meghan Princess Pinocchio once again in highlighting that she wrote to ITV to have him fired after he accused her of being dishonest in some parts of her infamous Oprah Winfrey interview. He then continues, how dare she and her equally hypocritical husband, Harry, make any demands from a company that's paid them a fortune to so far produce one podcast that was so bad, I needed urgent brain cell restoration surgery after enduring it. If the choice of whom to listen to in America is a curious, smart man who listens to myriad views to get to the truth, or a pair of fork-tongued, woke wastrels whose only currency is trashing the royal institution that gave them their titles to exploit for a vast financial gain, give me the former anytime. Piers concludes by suggesting the bosses of Spotify should cancel their contract with Meghan and Harry and reallocate the money they would spend on them to Joe Rogan instead. Joe has addressed the backlash himself, uploading a video to Instagram on Sunday where he says he wants to try harder after his podcast was found to contain misinformation about COVID. A backlash was ignited when Joe, whose podcast attracts a reported 11 million listeners per episode, invited cardiologist Dr. Peter McCulloch and immunologist/virologist Dr. Robert Malone onto his show to discuss COVID. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have hit out at Spotify for hosting content with COVID misinformation as the cancel mob try to remove vaccine skeptic podcaster Joe Rogan. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex said they have reached out to the music streaming giants to express our concerns. But the couple have not split with the firm, instead saying they were committed to continuing our work together as it addressed their issues. It comes after their £18 million pet project appeared to have suffered a blow, with Spotify reportedly taking production into its own hands. A spokesman for the Sussexes said, since the inception of their non-profit organization, Archie, we have worked to address the real-time global misinformation crisis. Hundreds of millions of people are affected by the serious harms of mis and disinformation every day. Last April, our co-founders began expressing concerns to our partners at Spotify about the all-too-real consequences of COVID misinformation on its platform. We have continued to express our concerns to Spotify to ensure changes to its platform are made to help address this public health crisis. We look to Spotify to meet this moment and are committed to continuing our work together as it does. Bruce Springsteen guitarist and Neil Young bandmate Nils Lofgren also became the latest musician to take his solo work off the streaming service today. He wrote in Young's newsletter that he was joining his bandmate and standing with hundreds of healthcare professionals, scientists, doctors and nurses in criticizing Spotify over its role in promoting lies and misinformation regarding COVID. His announcement comes as Spotify faces an exodus of talent, as Brené Brown and Foo Fighters' Dave Grohl were also rumored to be following Neil Young and Joni Mitchell off the platform.